Think of the year ahead as a canvas, layered with the colors of your life, a life in progress. Together, we'll paint this year with intentions, adding vibrant strokes that blend balance, purpose, health, and joy into a unique work of art. We experience 1,000 waking minutes on average every day. How are you spending yours? I'm Dr. Wendy Bazilian, and you're listening to 1,000 Waking Minutes. I can't wait to connect with you here with practical ways to eat well, move daily, and be healthy, to optimize every waking minute you live for a happier, healthier life. Thank you for sharing some of your waking minutes with me today. Let's get started.
I'm saying yes to better days, yes. I'm on my way, yes. It's gonna be okay, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to 1,000 Waking Minutes, where we explore the precious minutes of each day and how to live them fully and with purpose. I'm Dr. Wendy Bazilian, and as always, I'm here as your host and also a fellow human being, a work in progress myself, and also professionally to hopefully help guide you and inspire you to eat well, move daily, and be healthy as we make the most of our lives together. Today, we're looking closer at life's currency, our 1,000 waking minutes, how to invest them wisely and use them for intentions toward health, connection, and joy. So first, Happy New Year. Today isn't just the start of another day or even year. I like to think of it as the start or the first page of a new chapter, a fresh canvas in our lives. And while the pressure to set resolutions often takes center stage, I'm here to reframe that today. And that idea, in fact, to change the course a bit, if not fully toss out that idea to the curb, that idea of resolutions. I've always felt a little uneasy about the word resolution. It's, as a noun, feels so rigid, like a line we draw in the sand, daring ourselves not to cross it. Resolution seems so absolute and setting us up for something that's final. Even if we have success with it, it's so final. It's like a destination that we're trying to hold on to, like the end of the sentence. Success or failure, it's right or wrong. Similarly, the verb resolve feels declarative, as if to say, I will without fail accomplish this or else. The pressure of it all just feels so rigid. And this rigidity can feel daunting because it doesn't leave room for life's inevitable messiness. If you falter, you've failed. And there's little room for growth or adjustment with that concept. In fact, and I bet this will be no surprise to you, frankly, did you know it's often said that nearly 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the second week of February. So we might go in with resolve, but then we lose steam, and by the second week of February, 80% of us fail. And psychologists and the media report that this happens not because people aren't trying, but because the resolutions feel too rigid and unrealistic in a real world, in a real life. And to me, they really are just so resolute, like succeed or fail, hence the word. On the other hand, and considering it further, words really matter, and how we choose and use them really fascinates me, as you may know already. If you use it as an adjective, like doing something with resolve or being resolute, it feels a little more flexible. So it's not that the word has to go away, but it can be empowering that you do something with resolve, with conviction, with energy. It's about the attention and effort and commitment that you bring without the oppressiveness and weight of all or nothing. So being resolute means acting with focus or doing your best or committing to what matters. And that's where intention comes in. Intention is the word that I much prefer and encourage you to think about using And it feels different. First, intentions are dynamic. And I like things that are dynamic because health is dynamic and balance has movement. So the word intention suggests movement as well. It's not about a fixed point, but more of a direction. Intentions are purposeful and optimistic, and they allow for adaptation and growth. Intentions are often rooted in values as well. They're about aligning with what matters most to you rather than imposing an external standard. They're more about the why and the journey than simply a destination, even as you set goals toward that end. And intentions, and importantly, are forgiving. Because they're not rigid, intentions don't set us up for failure. They allow for progress, they allow for missteps, they allow for readjustment. They're made to be more sustainable, and they can be more compassionate as well. So intentions are different. And again, this is not about the fixed finish line, but about the direction, and it's rooted in possibility. So they're purposeful, dynamic, and forgiving. So let's use this to adapt and grow. We'll align them with what truly matters in our lives. And let intention invite optimism. That's what they do. They remind us that we're works in progress, that we're painting our lives with intention, one vibrant stroke at a time. So, are you convinced yet? Well, maybe not, or maybe you've already adopted this, which is great, but I'm going to set the stage throughout today's episode to leave the rigidity of resolutions behind and explore the power of intention, something rooted in purpose and possibility. A quote that captures the spirit of this, I think, from the great leader and orator and philosopher and civil rights champion, Martin Luther King Jr. He so wisely said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." And I think that's the purpose and the spirit, I should say, of intention, an intention setting. It's like taking one small step at a time and trusting that those steps will lead to something greater. Intentions offer that different path to step forward, rooted in our values, and allows us to grow, to adapt, and to find balance. And here's the thing about balance. As I've said before in other episodes, balance isn't static either. It's like a teeter-totter. It's dynamic, and it's a dance. It shifts and adjusts as life unfolds, and it gives us the freedom to align our actions with what truly matters. And that's what makes intention so powerful. They offer flexible approaches. They're based, again, on our values. I really want to underscore that. So this year, I want to help me again, us all focus on progress, not perfection. And together today and beyond, we'll explore ways to live with purpose, balance, and joy, one intention and one waking minute at a time. So let's consider what the research says about the benefits of setting intentions and how they can transform our lives. It's not just me that thinks there's another way that's more optimistic and more positive and more real. The science suggests it too. This is where we talk about the ROIs, or the returns on investment. In other words, the benefits of intentions and goals with flexibility, without that rigidity of resolution. So here's what the research tells us. First, we can experience improved mental health. We can support our mental health by setting flexible, value-based goals. Instead of rigid expectations, these type of goals allow us to focus on what truly matters while allowing us space to adapt. In a review study published in BMC Psychology just a couple years ago, they found that collaborative goal setting, this was particularly for a small sample of young people experiencing anxiety and depression, and working with a health advisor, created trust and open communication and helped them become more successful. They reported that young people value receiving support to split actions across smaller, manageable steps, helping make the challenging feel more manageable too. So collaborative goal setting recognizes that goals may take time, that you set and change as you go, and you adapt and take small steps. So, for example, instead of saying, I need to fix everything at once, or see a goal which may appear to be overwhelming in scope, a collaborative approach might lead to a goal like, let's tackle one thing together this week. It's a reminder that setting goals isn't just about what we do, but it's about how we approach them. And that's key. Making space for progress and connection. So it's seeing that the goal through intentions and intentional process, and it's seeing it in steps being taken as part of the success. All of this can feel really supportive as well overall, and potentially help reduce anxiety and or depressive symptoms and improve the quality of your life. So that's benefit number one. The next benefit to intentions and approaching a goal with steps versus hard resolutions is enhanced productivity. We can actually boost our productivity by breaking down big, overwhelming goals into smaller, actionable steps. Think about it like this. Instead of saying, I'm going to run a marathon, you start with breaking it down. Like, I'll start walking 10 minutes, 5 days this week, if you're going from 0 to marathon, or I'll start running 10 minutes, 5 days this week, and then start writing it down and tracking it. You map it out over time. Some interesting research backs up this idea as well. A 2022 study by Abhari and Vagefi found that when people set clear, specific goals, even something as everyday as goals for screen time management with your smartphone, this is what they looked at, the participants became more focused, productive, and intentional with their time. The researchers commented that it enhanced overall contentment as well. Think about that. Putting the steps in place can make you more content, at the same time making you more productive. It's basically proof that small, manageable steps really do add up to real progress and productivity. You can be productive and content. Number 3, you can enjoy better physical health, and that's so important. When it comes to improving physical health, setting specific, achievable goals can make a real difference. A 2021 study published in JAMA Cardiology, and another this last year published in 2 journals, American Heart Journal and also Circulation, looked at how personalized goal setting within a gamification program impacted physical activity for adults with cardiovascular disease risk factors. The first was an 8-week study with follow-up, and the other was an 18-month study with 12 months intervention and a 6-month follow-up after. And the results were impressive. Participants who set specific achievable goals increased their weekly step counts by an average of nearly 1,400 steps. It was statistically significant compared to those without structured goals. So they increased their step count by setting goals to do so. And while increasing the number of steps was impressive, obviously, it's an incremental, improved physical activity like this can impact heart disease risk. And other studies on gamification, that's like sort of chasing little goals and getting reward systems. Other studies on gamifying physical activity and healthy eating have also been linked to better cardiovascular health metrics and markers, including improved body mass, blood sugar markers, improved blood pressure, and physical tests, like health tests like the sit and reach. You remember back maybe in grade school when you would sit with maybe the box and push it, or sit and reach over your toes, as well as a 6-minute walking test. So ultimately, a number of studies show that by focusing on small, manageable goals like committing to the 10-minute brisk walk every day or tracking your daily steps, we can create meaningful changes in our physical health. And I wanted to mention one more thing. What's also exciting is that these changes weren't just short term. So a couple of studies do the follow-up later. And the participants in the STEP study, the couple studies before, maintain their higher level of activity. 6 months follow-up as well, showing that goal setting with those manageable steps can help build sustainable health promoting habits. So this is a testament, again, to the progress that can be achieved by taking it in chunks, setting intentions, and walking, literally in this case, toward the goal. So the fourth benefit of setting intentions is stronger relationships in life. By focusing on intentions like connecting with others, we can build and maintain stronger relationships. When we set intentions to connect, even something as simple as a weekly coffee or a quick call, it can profoundly impact our relationships and overall well-being. Dr. Martin Seligman, a prominent psychologist and professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and he's widely regarded as the founder of positive psychology, he highlights that positive relationships are one of the 5 pillars essential for flourishing. He introduced a model of well-being called PERMA. It's an acronym identifying the 5 pillars of positive psychology and indicates that relationships are critical to mental health and emotional resilience. One of his several books is called Flourish, and in there, he emphasizes how these connections can foster emotional resilience and mental well-being. In other words, we flourish through connection. So we can think of it this way. When you intentionally make space for moments of connection, you're not just strengthening your bond with someone else, you're also creating a sense of support and joy that ripples into and through your own life. So imagine how something as small as sending a quick thinking of you message or scheduling a regular or periodic or quarterly lunch with a friend could become and act as a cornerstone for your emotional well-being this year and moving forward. It's not just about the grand gestures or some perfect timing. It's about the little consistent actions that remind us that we're not alone. So positive relationships don't just happen. They're built one intention or one moment at a time. So make space for those. The benefits are great. And the final benefit, 2 wrapped in one really, of intention setting and step-by-step goals is increased well-being and longevity, along with greater optimism and joy. So research suggests that having positive, forward-looking intentions can contribute to a more vital and healthier life. A 2019 study published in the Annals of Behavioral Medicine looked at patients with chronic musculoskeletal pain and found something remarkable. Those who practice flexible goal adjustment, like letting go of unattainable goals and redirecting their energy toward achievable ones, reported better overall well-being and reduced stress levels and higher optimism. So naturally, this approach doesn't mean giving up. It means adapting. And that's amazing because we are adaptable as human beings. It's about focusing on what's possible and meaningful right now, which can reduce stress and improve both mental and physical health. So imagine how reframing a goal, like shifting from running a marathon to enjoying a daily walk, can open new doors and vitality and joy for us. Flexible intentions remind us that longevity isn't just about the years we live, but it's about the quality of time we have and living them optimistically. And remember, living with intention isn't just about checking off tasks. It's about creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. So setting specific goals and stepping toward them can ultimately enhance life satisfaction and mental resilience. that sort of ability to bounce back, or wobble when we're knocked side to side instead of falling completely over. And when we align our goals with what matters most to us, we can turn everyday moments into opportunities for growth and connection. For example, instead of simply saying, I want to be healthier, you might say, I'll try one new healthy recipe each week. These purposeful actions, again, not only can bring joy into your planning, but it can build that mental strength over time and that chain of success over time. So that's a lot of ROIs to digest and expect, but it's yours for the taking. Are these guarantees of success? Well, probably no. I would have to say no. But setting intentions for sure is a guarantee to pay off in some capacity. Mental health, productivity, physical health, relationships, all toward a well-lived and fulfilling life. And hopefully some more optimism too. Intentional living reminds us that fulfillment isn't the destination or a resolution. It's something we cultivate through our choices we make each day. And in fact, during some of those waking minutes today. So now we'll transition and pause and share a mindful minute together. It's a simple yet powerful way to reset and reconnect with ourselves amidst the busyness of life. To step away from the noise, take a breath, and check in with ourselves. It allows us to reconnect with ourselves as we connect later and throughout the days with the outer world. I will start by getting us prepared for the mindful minute, then I'll guide us into the minute, giving us time to sort of breathe through and reflect during that minute. And then we'll enjoy a moment afterward with a brief recap and reflection. As a way to lead into that, I first wanted to share a story today about someone who has shaped my life and the wellness world profoundly. And this is my friend and mentor, Deborah Zake. Deborah is now 102 years old, still working part-time, 3 days a week. And she's the visionary co-founder of Rancho La Puerta and founder of Golden Door Resort and Spa, a destination spas and resort of healthy living and wellness. She's often called the godmother of wellness, and for good reason. So Deborah has always approached life with grace and wisdom and tenacity and loads of creativity. And I remember her teaching guests in evening presentations at Golden Door and also at Rancho La Puerta, and also to me about the idea of using colored pencils to plan our time and reflect on our lives. She'd say something like, look at your planner. Where's the color? Do you see balance, or is it all one tone? She'd point out how we often fill our days with black ink, our work, our obligations, and tasks. But where's the lavender? The lighter, rejuvenating parts, she would explain, such as time with friends, hobbies, movement, and self-care. And of course, lavender is a color, but lavender is also symbolic like that, of the smell of lavender, lavender in spa environments, the inspirations. And she had a few other colors too. So for a couple decades, pretty much since I started hearing that message, I've adopted and adapted that idea too. Looking at and using a canvas, our lives as a canvas of colors that we paint on each day over months and years. Her idea wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about creating balance. She taught that using colors to visually represent our days, we could see where life felt unbalanced, and we could actively sprinkle in more color to bring joy and harmony back to the page. So inspired by her timeless wisdom, we're going to use this mindful minute to pause and reflect on the colors of our lives. Are we living with balance or in balance? What areas could use a little more lavender or any color that symbolizes renewal and joy for you? So today our focus of the Mindful Minute's on balance, and we'll talk about color, how we're spending our time and energy across different areas of life. And we'll use the color to create the mental image as we go in. Before we begin, let's start by finding a comfortable position. So if you're seated, put your feet not crossed, but flat on the floor. Sit up tall, but then relax your shoulders down from your ears. You might rest your hands gently on your lap or by your side. And if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes or sort of dim them, bring your lids down, and maybe glance or gaze downward. You can do this also while driving or anywhere that you are, if you're doing errands or in the kitchen cooking and managing and navigating, but just take pause and think through this. Now, we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth just to do a pre-breath. So in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Now picture a blank calendar in front of you. And each day is a type of canvas waiting to be filled. And it's a canvas that gets filled over time and creates some kind of image. Slowly imagine it coming to life with colors. Maybe blue is for work, your career, your goals, your responsibilities. Maybe green could be for health, the ways you care for your body and your mind and your well-being. Yellow could be for connection, for family, those you hold close to you that bring you love and joy. Maybe red for fun, for your play, adventure, and the moments that make your spirit soar. So 4 colors. So take a moment in your head to observe your calendar. And if you're not visually oriented, that's okay. During this minute, you can focus on your breathing and think the words, my life's canvas can be colorful. My life's canvas can be colorful. Now let's begin the mindful minute. Just breathe simply. Picture the colors in the canvas. Blue is work, green for health, yellow for connection and family, red for fun. Which colors are standing out for you? One more dominant? Are there areas you wish were more vibrant or present? Let the colors swirl together, imagine them blending and balancing, each playing its part in creating a beautiful, harmonious picture. One more breath in and out with the rainbow of hues that represents your whole life and well-being right now. And there we are. So gently open your eyes or bring your focus back to the present moment. And ask yourself, can my life feel a bit more balanced? Do I see space for the colors, the things that matter most to me? As you reflect, remember, balance doesn't mean everything is equal. It's about making moments you have meaningful and aligned with what you value. It's about the intention setting and building in or sprinkling in a little more lavender. Thank you for sharing that mindful minute with me. I hope this colorful check-in inspires you to approach your waking minutes with intention and care. So I'm going to move toward sharing a few practical ways you can bring this into your own life, the colors and balance with intentions. And as we reflect on balance and our colorful life, I want to share how this idea of setting intentions, not just once, but as an evolving practice, has shaped my work and my own personal growth over the years. So over the past 25 years, I've worked with clients and patients in a lot of different settings, whether it's one-on-one consultations in a private practice, group retreats and workshops. And a version of this exercise has always been a part of the process. We set some goals, we reflect and we revisit. And especially around the new year, because that's like sort of that new time where There's a period or an exclamation point on a year and a launch into a new year, but often with quarterly check-ins as well. And it's become a rhythm, a tradition of sorts. So I do this for myself too. I try to reflect and renew each year, thinking about what's working, where I can grow, and what I want to bring more attention to. So some years I keep it really simple with just one statement or focus that guides me through the year. One year it was do your best of all things. Do your best. Now, I've always been someone who gives my all. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. But that year, I wanted to remind myself to focus on effort over outcomes and to let the process matter more than the perfection. So, do your best for me that year meant just that. Another year, it was be more direct. Communication is something I work on constantly. I work in it professionally, but this was for myself. Not just speaking clearly, but getting to the heart of what I mean. And that year, I wanted to focus on having the courage to say what needed to be said, even when it was difficult. Whether it was addressing conflict or navigating conversations with individuals who have more commanding demeanors, or even handling smaller everyday issues like resolving customer service problems. I wanted to find clarity and confidence and some directness in my communication in those instances. And believe me, this is still a big work in progress for me, but that year I made it my focus. And one year, just a little more tactical one, I committed to sending a handwritten card or postcard to someone every week. I already love writing cards, but the intention brought it front and center. It transformed the habit into something more deliberate then. And did I miss some weeks? Absolutely. Did I make up for the missed week? No. It was about the intention and bringing it to my mind, and with an open mind, which opens doors to possibility each time. So these aren't radical resolutions, as you see. They're super small, exposing a little vulnerability there, but they're purposeful ways to grow, and they really helped me. So sometimes they help hone in on an area that you already value, maybe, and other times they spark new habits altogether. But they're always about the progress and not the perfection or getting it right or success or failure. It's a way to move forward with intention wherever I or you are. So I hope this idea resonates with you too. It's not about starting over or a blank canvas. We are the product of all the colors that we've brought forward to get to today. But it's about refining and renewing and moving toward what matters most to us now. So let me share a few practical ways to bring this into your own life and bring intention into your life in this kind of way. So we're in the new year, and we want some achievable, meaningful, and transformative, hopefully, goals to be achieved. So not rigid resolutions. We need them to be flexible. So first, visualize your year with color. And by visualize, I mean not only visualize, but use some colored pens, pencils, whatever it takes, or on your computer screen. Start with a blank calendar, either digital, physical, like I said, and assign colors to the main areas of your life. Maybe it's blue for work or career. We had a preview of this in the Mindful Minute. Green for health, yellow for connection, like family, friends, and community, and red for fun and joy, like travel, hobbies, and creativity. You can keep it simple or you can expand it. You can add your favorite color, but fill in your calendar in color to give you a clear visual of where your time and energy are going. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be all equal across the board, but you might see some areas that are more vibrant or more full, and it allows you to redirect and position your time a little bit. The second tip is focus on one intention each month. So rather than trying to tackle everything, let's say you have a bunch of goals you want to accomplish, it's not just step by step, which is the key to getting to the goal, but maybe put one theme per month into focus. So perhaps in January, it's like add more movement to your day or your week, a 10-minute walk, a stretch, or a new activity, and prioritizing movement. That doesn't mean it will fall away once you get to February, but prioritize that to get into sync, and you stay a little more focused and you feel a little bit more fulfilled because you're able to march toward that goal and committed instead of feeling scattered. February, maybe it's like strengthen connections, about reaching out with friends or having a family dinner. And you can plan the year out this way if you wish. You can get together with someone, or you can make a plan for how you might start connecting with others on an ongoing basis. March, it's National Nutrition Month in March. So I put there focus on healthy nutrition, maybe planning one new recipe a week or adding an extra serving of vegetables. You're getting the idea here. And April might be self-care, prioritizing personal self-care by maybe it's setting boundaries or enjoying a massage or reading the book that you've been meaning to pick up and so on. So this approach brings some peace of mind, knowing that you'll touch on all the areas sometime within the year with more intentionality. The next practical tip is anchoring your intentions to daily habits you already do. So to make them stick, tie them to something that you do. For example, after brushing your teeth at night, maybe you do a self-reflection, the 3 things I'm grateful for journal, ideas like that. Or during your morning coffee, set a simple intention for the day, like staying hydrated, or take a mindful minute to pause. Or before sitting down for dinner, take a deep breath and center yourself for a moment of gratitude, or again, a mindful minute, or enter into a behavior or practice that you'd like to do. So aligning your behaviors with something you're already doing can really help them stick together and become a habit. Next practical tip is revisit your intentions regularly and stay curious about it. So intentions are dynamic and they grow as you do. So you plan to check in with yourself every month or so, or your quarter, and reflect on your questions, like what's working well? What areas feel balanced? Where would I like to focus more energy? Do I want to renew this? So often when I work with individuals, we'll set goals and I'll say, let's do this for X number of weeks. And then you have the right to renew or we'll change. That's the reevaluation, because it's not about perfection and we have to be doing it to be able to measure how it's working. But the intention is there, so we keep moving toward it. And next, here's one that I'd like to have and give to you. So I'll get a connection in the show notes. And it's take inventory. It's a type of inventory, but do an intentions worksheet, transformation, your own colorful canvas. So I have a resource that is about just this. It's based on an exercise that I've done successfully with private practice clients and tailored just for the podcast here as well. So it will be linked in the show notes. It includes a number of things, but it asks you to sort of work through and reflect on them briefly. It's just a front and a back sheet. So it's not a big piece, but it can get deep if you start to think about it. But things like gratitude, about reflection, about the intentions by category that I mentioned before. So looking at things like your healthy nutrition, your movement, your self-care, your connections, how you practice mindfulness. Are you engaged in art and culture, spiritual well-being? The list goes on. There are several of them. Fun and recreation is on that list. But there's a few that you go down the list, about 10, 11 of them. And you work through thinking like, where are those in my life? Where would I like more of this or that in my life, so that you can see what's before you and what your opportunities are. So this worksheet also has space for your monthly themes, so you can map out the focus of each month in advance, giving you some clarity and direction. And it also has a line where you can put an affirmation, maybe a simple statement that resonates with you, like, I move forward with grace, or do your best, or I will live with purpose, whatever connects with you, but something, an affirmation that feels really connected. And it also has a check-in with yourself box, a reminder to revisit and revise these, maybe quarterly. It's really important that you'll celebrate progress and make some tweaks if needed in that way. It's a brief tool, it's an exercise, and it's designed to make the process engaging and personal and actionable, which is key. I'll make it available through the show notes and give it a try and see what it unfolds for you. My hope is that one or two of these ideas resonate with you and become part of your year ahead. And if you'd like to share your reflections or results, I'd love to hear from you as well. You can reach out to me through social media. On Instagram, it's at 1000 Waking Minutes. Or you can drop me a note at the number 1KWM, so 1KWM at wendybazilian.com. And you'll find that address, the email in the show notes as well. So remember, intentions aren't about doing everything correctly or perfectly. They really are moving. They're about movement toward the life that you want, and doing so with curiosity and patience and joy. As we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on where we've been and, importantly, where we're heading. We talked about the power of colors and how they represent the balance of different areas of our lives. Now I encourage you to ask yourself, when you picture the colors of your life, which one do you want to bring sharper focus to this year? Maybe it's the vibrant red of joy and fun, those moments that you can create with creativity. Or perhaps it's the grounding green of health to nourish your body and mind. It might be bright yellow, connections, deepening your relationships with loved ones or with the community. Which color will guide your intentions this year? And then what's one small actionable step you can take to move toward it? Take a moment to think on that. And if it feels right, jot it down, of course. Visualize the vibrant strokes of color on the canvas of your life this year. Remember, it's not about doing everything at once. It's about choosing one meaningful area to focus on and allowing yourself to grow and adapt as you walk toward that. Today, we explored the idea of setting intentions instead of rigid resolutions, intentions that grow with you. We talked about the science-backed benefits of intentional living, and we took a moment of self-care in the Mindful Minute. And then we talked some practical tips about bringing those intentions into our life. Thank you for sharing some of your waking minutes with me today. If you're enjoying this podcast, I'd love for you to share it with a friend and leave a comment perhaps on your favorite podcast platform. It really genuinely means the world to me, and it helps us grow this effort together. So cheers to the new year. Cheers to our intentions. And I hope that we together can make our year colorful. I'm Wendy Bazilian, and until next time, be well. Thank you for tuning in to 1000 Waking Minutes. A huge thank you to our amazing collaborators, including our production and marketing teams, and Gabriela Escalante in particular. To the ultra-talented Beza for my theme music, my lifelong friend and artist, Pearl Price Photography and Design, to Daniel Ballantyne, Jen Nguyen, Joanna Powell, and of course my family, and everyone working tirelessly behind the scenes. And to you, our valued listeners, I so appreciate your support. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment, writing a review, and giving 1000 Waking Minutes, that's us, a 5-star rating. And please hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Please follow and stay connected at wendybazilian.com. And don't forget to share with your friends. Your support helps us grow and bring you more great content. Until next time, find some simple opportunities to optimize those 1000 waking minutes each day.
I'm saying yes